Hey guys, last class we discussed what a mole was, and we figured out that a mole is just how a chemist measures particles. That certain number of particles, about 6 times 10 to the 23rd. So it relates something we can measure, that is mass, to a number of particles. And key thing right here was 1 mole of any element has a mass of its atomic mass in grams. So get your periodic tables out and follow along with me. So you guys can see that we find sodium on the periodic table and find that sodium has an atomic mass of 23.0 grams. Meaning 1 mole of sodium atoms has a mass of 23 grams. Look at chlorine, and we find that a mole of chlorine has a mass of 35.5. Now remember, we are rounding to the tenths always in atomic mass and molar mass, and that'll just make things easier and help us remember which number we're using on the periodic table so we don't get confused. Because some periodic tables are different than others, but we are always using the one with the decimal. So if you're looking up magnesium, 1 mole of magnesium is 24.3 grams. So we get down here, that's all review. We did that last class. What's new today is molar mass. Molar mass is the mass of 1 mole of any substance. And if the substance is an element, it's easy because we just did some of those and we talked about those. But what if our substance is a compound? So for example, if I want to calculate the molar mass of sodium chloride, NaCl right here, we have to look up what it's made up of. And we know that 1 mole of sodium chloride is made of 1 mole of sodium and 1 mole of chlorine atoms. So think about this. We know 1 mole of sodium atoms is 23.0 grams. And we know 1 mole of chlorine atoms is 35.5 grams. And we know that from up here, up in this example that we talked about in the introduction to this. So we can figure out that 1 mole of sodium weighs 23.0 grams, and 1 mole of chlorine weighs 35.5 grams. So in order to calculate the molar mass of sodium chloride, all we have to do is find the total of the things that make up the compound sodium chloride. And we know, and we can add it up, and we get 58.5 grams per mole. So that's called the molar mass of sodium chloride. I'm going to abbreviate MM. So that means 1 mole of sodium chloride weighs 58.5 grams. And let's use another example over here, 1 mole of magnesium chloride, MgCl2. So let's look at that formula. That's going to be a little different, but we still look and see what it's made up of. So 1 mole of magnesium chloride is made of 1 mole of magnesium and 2 moles of Cl atoms. So similar to that, we calculate 1 mole of magnesium times 24.3 grams of magnesium, and we get that from up here. Remember that 1 mole of magnesium is 24.3 grams. You can look in the periodic table. And 2 moles of chlorine atoms. So that's 2 times 35.5 grams of Cl. And I put the 1 there for argument's sake. After you get a lot of practice with this, this will come easier to you. So 1 mole of magnesium has a mass of 24.3 grams. And 2 moles of chlorine, each mole is 35.5, so twice that is 71.0 grams. So the total molar mass, all we have to do is add that up, and we get 95.3 grams per mole. So what we say that the molar mass of MgCl2 is 95.3 grams per mole, meaning that every 1 mole of magnesium chloride weighs 95.3 grams. Now, we can use this in calculations, and I'm going to talk about a couple ways that we can do this. And we use the triangle method before, and mm means molar mass. So the triangle method, if you guys recall the density triangle, which we discussed before, where the density is equal to mass over volume, or grams over milliliters, or however we applied it, we can use a similar method like that. Or we can use dimensional analysis, which is going to be another useful tool. So if we're doing grams to moles, and you'll see that the triangle matches up just fine, and it's same calculations, or moles to grams, we take however many grams we have, and we multiply it by 1 mole is the molar mass in grams. Or, if you want to go from moles to grams, you take however many moles you're converting. Abbreviation for moles is MOL, not M. M is going to mean something else, so do not abbreviate mole as M. It will mean something totally different, depending on the context. So, if we're trying to convert moles to grams, we just do cancel out moles, and we know 1 mole is the molar mass in grams, and we're multiplying it. And see, that agrees with the triangle up top. So if you have if you want to know the number of moles, you take the grams divided by the molar mass. And if you want to know the number of grams, you take the moles times the molar mass. So we're going to be applying this for the rest of the year. It's an important skill to use and practice, and we are going to use it.